The jangle of keys on the granite countertop is the first sound. It's a sharp, impatient sound, a sound that says, "I'm done with this." Sarah doesn't look at me. Her gaze is fixed on her reflection in the dark kitchen window, patting a stray strand of blonde hair into place. Her lipstick is a fresh, waxy red, the kind she wears when she wants to be someone else, someone other than a wife, someone other than a mother. "I'm going to Derek's for the weekend," she says. Her voice is smooth and polished as the expensive handbag she slings over her shoulder. "You'll need to watch your kids. Your kids, not our kids." The words hang in the air between us, heavy and toxic. They are a judgment, a final severance. She's been gone for 3 hours, supposedly at a yoga retreat planning session. I see the lie for what it is now. A flimsy curtain pulled across a chasm. My eyes drift to the floor near the living room archway. Emma's favorite stuffed rabbit, a floppy-eared thing named Barnaby we bought her at a street fair last summer, lies disemboweled. One of its button eyes is missing, and its cotton guts are strewn across the hardwood like freshly fallen snow. It looks like a casualty of a war I didn't even know we were fighting. My 4-year-old daughter's small sob from the other room tells me she's found it. Sarah glances at the carnage, a flicker of something, annoyance, crossing her face before she smooths it back into a mask of indifference. "He's probably teething," she says, referring to our 1-year-old son, Leo, as if a teething baby could perform such a precise, violent execution. My hands start to shake. A tremor that begins in my fingers and works its way up my arms. It's not just the rabbit. It's the overnight bag by the door. It's the fact that this weekend, this exact weekend, is our 10th anniversary. A weekend we were supposed to spend in a cabin by the lake, a non-refundable deposit paid months ago. A weekend she's been meticulously planning to detonate, to inflict the maximum possible damage. This wasn't a spur-of-the-moment decision. This was a calculated act of cruelty. She opens the door, and the cool night air rushes in, carrying the scent of cut grass and betrayal. "Sarah, wait," I manage, my voice a croak. She pauses, her hand on the doorknob, but doesn't turn. "What, Marcus?" "This is our anniversary." "I know," she says, and the simplicity of her admission is more cutting than any scream. "I have to go. He's waiting." She walks out, closing the door softly behind her. Not a slam, a soft, final click, the sound of an ending. For a moment, I'm paralyzed. The hum of the refrigerator feels deafening. Then, a primal surge of something hot and sharp cuts through the fog. It's not just sadness, it's rage. A protective instinct so fierce it makes my vision swim. "Your kids." The phrase echoes in my skull. No, my kids. She's right about that much, at least. They are mine to protect now. From her. From him. My phone is on the counter. My hand is steady now as I pick it up. I check the date. Friday, 8:15 p.m. My brother's words from 6 months ago after his own messy divorce come back to me. "If she ever pulls anything, you call Emma Rodriguez first. Don't hesitate. Don't think. Just call. And get a judge to grant you emergency custody. You have to move fast." Emergency custody. The hearing would be Monday morning. That gives me, 72 hours. A little less, actually. A timer has just started, ticking down in the silent house. 72 hours to build a case. 72 hours to save my children from the woman I used to love. I walk to the window, my bare feet cold on the floor. Sarah's car is still in the driveway. She's on the phone, laughing. I see her head tilt back, a gesture I once found enchanting. Now it just looks alien. I raise my phone, my thumb finding the camera icon. I hit record. The small red light is a beacon in the darkness. She gets in her car, tosses her overnight bag onto the passenger seat, and pulls away from the curb, leaving a cloud of exhaust and shattered promises in her wake. I have my first piece of evidence. The kids are finally asleep. Emma cried herself into a fitful slumber, clutching the mutilated form of Barnaby. I told her Daddy would fix him, a lie that felt necessary in a house suddenly full of unbearable truths. Leo is blissfully unaware, sleeping soundly in his crib, his tiny chest rising and falling in a peaceful rhythm that feels like an accusation. How could I have let things get this bad? How could I have been so blind? The answer is simple. I didn't want to see. I saw the late nights she claimed were for work. I saw the secret smiles at her phone. I saw the way she'd started looking at me, not with love or even annoyance, but with a kind of clinical detachment, like I was a piece of furniture she was tired of. I saw it all, and I told myself it was stress. I told myself it was a phase. I chose to believe in the fiction of our marriage because the reality was too terrifying to contemplate. Now, reality is sitting at my kitchen table, staring me in the face. I pull up the number my brother sent me. Emma Rodriguez, Family Law. It's nearly 9 o'clock on a Saturday night. I hesitate for a second. A lifetime of not wanting to be a bother warring with the urgent need to act. The image of Sarah driving away, laughing, decides it for me. I press call. She answers on the third ring, her voice professional but laced with the weariness of a long week. Emma Rodriguez. Miss Rodriguez, my name is Marcus Chen. My brother, David Chen, is a former client. He told me to call you if I ever needed to. There's a pause. I can hear the subtle shift in her tone as she moves from weekend off mode to lawyer mode. Of course, David. How is he? He's good. Remarried, actually. Look, I'm sorry to call so late, but my wife just left. She left me with the kids. She said she's spending the weekend with another man. The words taste like ash in my mouth. Okay, Marcus, Emma says, her voice calm and steady. It's a lifeline. Tell me exactly what happened. I recount the scene. The keys, the lipstick, the torn rabbit, the parting shot. Watch your kids. I tell her about the anniversary. I tell her about the video I took of her leaving with an overnight bag. Good, she says. That's very good. Keep that video safe. Don't post it. Don't send it to her. Just save it. What do I do now? I ask, my voice cracking. She's just gone. Suddenly, my phone buzzes with an incoming call. It's Sarah. My heart lurches. Marcus, 1 second, I say to Emma. It's her. She's calling me. Answer it, Emma says immediately. Put it on speaker. Be calm. Don't yell. Just talk to her. I'm listening. I take a deep breath and tap the screen. Hello? Did you really think I'd forget the baby monitor? Sarah's voice is sharp, accusatory, the one connected to an app on her phone. She's been listening. Sarah, what are you doing? I say, trying to keep my voice even. I heard you on the phone with Emma, crying. It's pathetic, Marcus. You can't just abandon your children, I say, the words feeling rehearsed, hollow. They're not abandoned, she scoffs. They're with their father. It's called co-parenting. Or in your case, it's just called babysitting. You're finally pulling your weight for once. The injustice of it steals my breath. I was the one who did the late-night feedings. I was the one who mastered the swaddle. I'm the one who knows that Emma needs her nightlight and that Leo only likes the green teething ring. Where are you, Sarah? I'm with Derek. I'm happy. Something you haven't made me in a very long time. I'll be back Sunday night to pick up some more things. More things? What are you talking about? Just things, she says vaguely. Don't touch my stuff in the closet. I'll get it myself. And then she hangs up. The line goes dead. I'm left staring at the phone, my hand trembling again. Marcus? Emma's voice pulls me back. Are you there? Yeah, I whisper. Yeah, I'm here. Okay, she says, her tone hardening. She just made our case for us. She admitted to being with another man and admitted she's abandoning the children for the weekend. She also just confirmed she'll be back Sunday. We have a window. A window for what? To find out what's really going on. I'm going to do some digging on my end. I need you to do something for me, too. Do you have access to your bank statements? Joint accounts? Credit cards? Yes, of course. I want you to go through the last 6 months. Look for anything unusual, cash withdrawals, Venmo transfers to names you don't recognize, new accounts, anything. I feel a pit forming in my stomach. You think she's been taking money? Marcus, Emma says, her voice softening slightly. When a marriage ends like this, it rarely starts the day they walk out the door. This has been planned. I just ran a preliminary asset search while we were talking. She's been transferring money. Small amounts at first, then larger, into a savings account that doesn't have your name on it. For the last 6 months. 6 months. The world tilts. 6 months of shared dinners, of bedtime stories, of her kissing my cheek on her way out the door. It was all a lie. Every single moment. The good news, Emma continues, pulling me from the spiral, is that we can use this. It shows premeditation. It shows she had no intention of maintaining the family home. It's powerful evidence, but we need to be smart. Judge Patterson is the only judge who hears emergency ex parte motions on Monday mornings. He's old school. He's heard every excuse in the book. You have to walk in there with an ironclad case showing the children are in immediate risk. Her abandoning them for a weekend is a good start. Her hiding assets helps. But we need more. More? I ask, feeling overwhelmed. What more could there be? We'll find out, Emma says. Your hearing is Monday. Judge Patterson starts at 9 a.m. sharp. We have until then to paint a picture he can't ignore. After we hang up, I sit in the silent house, the weight of the last hour pressing down on me. I open my laptop, my fingers hovering over the keyboard. I log into our joint bank account. And there it is, a transfer every other Friday for 6 months to an account simply labeled S. Chen. The amounts grow larger each month, thousands of dollars, our savings, my children's future. Gone. My mission is clear now. This isn't just about a broken heart. It's about protecting what's left. It's about survival. Sunday morning dawns gray and humid. I haven't slept. I spent the night oscillating between staring at spreadsheets of our stolen future and checking on the kids. Every creak of the old house was Sarah returning. Every shadow in the hallway was an intruder. I feel hollowed out, running on a toxic cocktail of caffeine and adrenaline. Emma called at dawn. I found him, Derek Miller. He lives in a luxury condo downtown, the kind with a doorman and valet parking. Paid for in cash 3 months ago. With my money, I say, the words flat and dead. Most likely, she agrees. If you can find out where she is and prove she's prioritizing this new relationship over the children's welfare, that's another brick in our wall. An idea, reckless and desperate, takes root in my mind. I know what to do, I tell her. Now I'm putting that idea into motion. I buckle the kids into their car seats. Leo is happily chewing on a toy giraffe. But Emma is quiet, her eyes big and sad. She's too young to understand the specifics, but she understands the shape of the hole my wife has left in our lives. Where are we going, Daddy? She asks, her voice small. We're going on an adventure, sweetheart. I lie, my own hypocrisy a bitter taste in my mouth. A little road trip. We drive downtown to the address Emma gave me. The building is a monument to new money, all glass and steel, gleaming arrogantly in the morning light. I park across the street, in a spot that gives me a clear view of the front entrance and the wide, sweeping balconies. I pull a baseball cap low on my forehead and tell the kids we're playing the quiet game. Leo giggles. Emma just nods. We wait. For 2 hours, we wait. I buy them juice boxes and a bag of goldfish from a corner store. We watch the city wake up around us. The doorman greets residents by name. A woman in expensive yoga pants walks a dog that's smaller than my son's stuffed bear. It all feels like a scene from a different planet. And then I see them. They walk out of the front entrance, hand in hand. Sarah is laughing, that same carefree laugh I heard on the phone. Derek is tall, with that easy, unearned confidence that comes from a life without consequences. He's wearing a gray cashmere sweater that probably costs more than my car payment. They get into a sleek black Tesla and drive off. My heart hammers against my ribs. I should follow them, but something tells me to wait. They'll be back. I turn to Emma in the back seat. "Hey, Munchkin, want to play I Spy?" Her face brightens a little. "Okay, Daddy." "I spy with my little eye something blue," I say, looking at the sky. We play for another hour. We play until my voice is hoarse and Leo has fallen asleep, his head lolling to the side. The Tesla pulls back up to the curb. They get out carrying shopping bags from expensive stores. They go back inside. The waiting continues. It's lunchtime. I get us sandwiches. I eat mine mechanically, not tasting it. I watch the balcony of the penthouse apartment. And then there they are. Sarah and Derek step out onto the balcony. He wraps his arms around her from behind, and she leans back into him. They're drinking what looks like champagne. She's smiling. It's a genuine, radiant smile. The kind she used to give me. He kisses her neck, and she tilts her head, offering him more. I feel a physical sickness rise in my throat. I force it down. My hand is on my phone, the camera ready. I zoom in, my fingers shaking slightly. I snap a picture, then another, and another. Evidence. Emma is watching me. "Why is Mommy with that man?" she asks. Her voice is clear, cutting through my haze of pain. I lower the phone. I have to face her. "Mommy has a new friend, honey." "But she doesn't live with us anymore." It's not a question. It's a statement of fact. A 4-year-old processing abandonment. "No, sweetheart, she doesn't." "Will we be okay, Daddy?" I turn around fully in my seat, my heart breaking into a million tiny pieces. "We will be more than okay," I say, forcing a conviction I don't feel. "Daddy will take better care of us." She seems to accept this. She leans her head against the window. "He always has, sweetheart," she mumbles, to herself more than to me. Then her eyes fix on something, a glint of light from the balcony. "Daddy?" she says, her voice tight with confusion. "Why does Mommy's friend have Daddy's wedding ring?" I freeze. I zoom in on the picture I just took. My vision blurs. I blink, trying to clear it. There it is, on Derek's right pinky finger. A thick, simple gold band. My wedding ring. The one I gave Sarah on our wedding day. The one she claimed she'd lost down the sink drain 2 months ago. She'd made a show of crying about it, of how devastated she was. Another lie. Another performance in a long-running play where I was the only one who didn't know the script. He's wearing my ring, like a trophy. A sudden, cheerful melody breaks the silence. An ice cream truck has rounded the corner, its tinny, repetitive song a grotesque counterpoint to the cold, hard knot of reality in my stomach. Kids on the sidewalk are cheering, running toward the sound. Emma's face lights up. "Ice cream, Daddy, can we?" I look from my daughter's hopeful face to the image on my phone of the man wearing my wedding ring, kissing my wife on the balcony of their stolen life. The cheerful music drills into my brain. "This is your life now," it seems to say. "This is the soundtrack to your fall." "Because some people take things that don't belong to them, sweetheart," I whisper, answering her question from a minute ago, or maybe from a lifetime ago. I take a few more pictures, my hand steady now. The anger has burned away the shakes. It has forged something hard and sharp inside me. "Yes, baby," I say, turning off the phone and starting the car. "Let's go get some ice cream." Sunday night. The house is quiet again, the kids tucked into bed. The temporary sweetness of the ice cream has long faded, leaving behind the bitter aftertaste of my reality. I'm sitting at the kitchen table, a mountain of evidence growing around me. Bank statements, printed photos from the stakeout, a timeline of Sarah's lies. The video of her leaving is uploaded to a secure cloud server. I've sent copies of everything to Emma, who responded with a single text. "Good work. This is strong. See you tomorrow. Tomorrow." The word feels both like a lifetime away and hurtling toward me at an impossible speed. I am exhausted down to my bones, but my mind is a hornet's nest of activity. I keep replaying the scene on the balcony, the glint of my ring on his finger. It wasn't just a betrayal of our marriage. It felt like an erasure of my identity. He wasn't just taking my wife, he was taking my life, piece by piece. A sudden violent banging on the front door makes me jump. My heart leaps into my throat. It's not a polite knock. It's a demand, an assault. I creep to the door, my body tensing for a fight. I peer through the peephole. My blood runs cold. It's Derek. And Sarah is standing behind him, her arms crossed, her face a mask of fury. I take a steadying breath. I think of my children sleeping upstairs. I unlock the door but leave the chain on. I open it a crack. "What do you want?" I ask, my voice low. "Open the door, Marcus," Derek says. He sounds bigger than he looks, his voice a low growl of entitlement. "We need to talk." "We have nothing to talk about," I say. He slams his hand against the door, rattling the chain. "I know you were following us, you creep, taking pictures. What the hell is wrong with you? Stop stalking us." Sarah shoves him aside, her face coming into the crack of light. "Let us in, Marcus. You're acting insane. You can't just follow people around, it's harassment. Leaving your children to spend the weekend with your boyfriend is abandonment," I counter, my voice gaining strength. "Using our joint savings to fund it is theft, and taking pictures of it is called gathering evidence." Her face pales. She wasn't expecting me to fight back. She was expecting the sad, compliant man she thought she'd married. "You have no idea what you're talking about," she hisses. "Derek and I are building a life together, a better life." "A better life?" I laugh, a harsh, humorless sound. "What are you going to do, Sarah? Just disappear?" Derek shoves his way back to the front. "That's none of your business. The kids will be fine, they'll be with us." A chill, deeper than anything I've felt before, snakes down my spine. They'll be with us. The way he says it. It's not a wish. It's a statement of intent. My mind flashes forward, an involuntary, terrifying vision. I'm in a sterile courtroom, under the flat, unforgiving fluorescent lights. Emma is standing beside me, her hand on my arm. She's addressing the judge, her voice clear and strong. "Your Honor," she says, her words echoing in the imaginary chamber of my mind. "The defendant has already purchased 3 tickets to Bangkok. One way. For herself, her boyfriend, Mr. Miller, and her 4-year-old daughter, Emma Chen. They were scheduled to depart this Tuesday." The vision is so vivid it makes me dizzy. Bangkok. They were going to run. They were going to take my daughter. Not my son, he's too young. Too much trouble. Just Emma. My little girl. The thought is a physical blow, knocking the air from my lungs. I step back from the door. I close it, my hand fumbling for a moment as I slide the chain off. Then I open it wide. They stand there on my doorstep, looking surprised by my sudden compliance. They think they've won. They think their intimidation worked. "Come in," I say, my voice eerily calm. They step inside, a smug look on Derek's face. Sarah avoids my eyes, her gaze darting around the living room as if she's cataloging what else she plans to take. "This is how it's going to be, Marcus?" Derek begins, stepping toward me, trying to use his height to loom over me. "You're going to stop this nonsense. You're going to agree to our terms. The kids will spend half the time with us." I don't let him finish. I turn to the small table by the door where I keep my keys and the mail. I pick up a small, black USB drive. I hold it out to him. "What's this?" he asks, sneering. "Your mixtape?" "It's a recording," I say, my eyes locked on his. "From your smart speaker. You know, the one you have in your living room? The one you use to order groceries and play your terrible pop music. It's amazing what those things pick up when you're having a conversation about fleeing the country with a child that isn't yours." I watch the blood drain from his face. His smugness evaporates, replaced by a raw, animal panic. He looks at Sarah, whose own expression has morphed from anger to utter confusion and dawning horror. "You're bluffing," Derek says, but his voice is thin, reedy. "Am I?" I say. "The conversation was quite specific. You talked about your contacts in Thailand, about how easy it would be to get new passports, about how I wouldn't be able to follow. You even laughed about leaving Leo behind because he's still in diapers. You said, and I quote, 'She can have the baby. We'll take the girl.'" Sarah lets out a small, strangled gasp. She looks at Derek, truly looks at him, and for the first time she sees the monster I see. The monster she invited into our lives, into our children's lives. "He's lying, baby," Derek stammers, reaching for her. She flinches away from his touch. "Did you say that?" she whispers, her voice trembling. "Did you say you would leave my son?" He doesn't answer. He just stares at the USB drive in my hand as if it's a venomous snake. I calmly hand him the small piece of plastic. His fingers brush mine, and his skin is clammy, cold. "Get out of my house," I say. My voice is quiet, but it carries the weight of 1,000 sleepless nights and a father's unbreakable resolve. "Get out, now." They stumble backward, out the door, into the night. They don't say another word. The confrontation is over. The power has shifted. They came here to intimidate me, to finalize my destruction. But they've only succeeded in handing me the one thing I was missing. The one thing that would guarantee I would win. They handed me the truth. The aftermath of their visit leaves a foul residue in the air. The scent of his expensive cologne and her cloying perfume lingers long after they're gone. A ghostly reminder of the invasion. I double-check the locks and walk through the house, my bare feet silent on the floorboards. I look in on Emma, her small face peaceful in the dim glow of her nightlight. I smooth the hair back from her forehead, my heart aching with a love so fierce it's a physical pain. They were going to take her. The thought is a relentless drumbeat in my head. My phone buzzes. It's Emma Rodriguez. "Talk to me, Marcus. What happened?" I explain the whole sordid encounter. The threats, the revelation about Bangkok, the USB drive. I tell her about the look on Sarah's face when she realized Derek planned to make her abandon her own son. There's a long silence on the other end of the line. When Emma finally speaks, her voice is stripped of all pleasantries. It's the voice of a warrior. "He threatened you. He admitted to a plan to commit international parental kidnapping. This changes everything. This is no longer just a custody battle. This is a criminal matter." The USB drive was a bluff, I confess, feeling a pang of guilt. I don't have any recordings from his smart speaker. "He doesn't know that," Emma says dismissively. "His reaction is what matters. His panic is the confession. But we can do better than a bluff." She pauses. "I have a private investigator I work with. He's expensive, but he's fast, and he's the best. I want to run a full background check on Derek Miller. I have a feeling his plan to disappear to Thailand isn't his first time trying to run from something. Do it, I say without hesitation. The money doesn't matter. All that matters is building a fortress around my kids that no one can breach. The next 12 hours are a blur of activity. Emma files an emergency motion with the court, detailing the threats and the flight risk. My job is to maintain a sense of normalcy for the children. We build a pillow fort in the living room. We watch cartoons. We bake cookies that are slightly burnt on the bottom. I am acting the part of the happy, stable father, a performance for an audience of 2. Inside, I am a tightly coiled spring of anxiety. Late Monday afternoon, my phone rings. It's Sarah. Her voice is different this time. The anger is gone, replaced by a desperate, pleading tone. "Marcus, we need to stop this," she says. "This has gone too far." "It went too far when you planned to take my daughter to another continent, Sarah." I didn't know it was serious. I thought he was just dreaming, just talking." "Did you buy the tickets?" I ask, my voice flat. She's silent. "Did you buy the tickets, Sarah?" "Yes," she whispers. "But I can cancel them. We can work this out. Just the 2 of us. No lawyers." "It's too late for that," I say. "You hired a PI to dig into my boyfriend?" She suddenly spits, her desperation curdling back into anger. The whiplash is dizzying. "My lawyer told me you're trying to ruin his life." "I hired protection for my children, Sarah," I say, the distinction crystal clear in my own mind. "This is harassment," she shrieks. "This is parenting," I reply calmly, and hang up. An hour later, Emma calls back. "I have it," she says, and I can hear the grim satisfaction in her voice. "Derek Miller isn't his real name. He was born Daniel Peterson, and he has a record." My breath catches. "What kind of record?" "A sealed juvenile record for petty theft. But that's not the good part. 5 years ago, as Derek Miller, he was convicted of felony fraud in Arizona. He convinced a dozen retirees to invest their life savings in a fake company. He served 18 months and got out on parole. Parole he violated by leaving the state and coming here. He's not just a homewrecker. He's a con man, a predator. He saw Sarah's unhappiness and my savings account as an opportunity. The kids weren't part of a new family. They were collateral. Maybe even pawns in a bigger, darker game. "Did you tell Sarah's lawyer?" I ask. "I did," Emma confirms. "He was surprised. He claimed Sarah never disclosed Derek's record or their travel plans. He's trying to distance her from it, paint her as another one of Derek's victims. It's a smart move, but it won't save her. She was complicit." The final piece of the puzzle slots into place. The picture is now complete, and it is uglier than I could have ever imagined. Just as I'm processing this, Emma's voice cuts in again. "Hold on, Marcus. I'm getting a call from the clerk at the courthouse." I wait, my heart pounding a frantic rhythm against my ribs. I can hear Emma's muffled voice in the background, professional and deferential. "Okay," she says, coming back on the line. Her voice is urgent. "Big change. Judge Patterson's clerk just called. The judge has reviewed our emergency motion and the evidence of flight risk. He's concerned. He's moving our hearing." "Moving it to when?" "To tomorrow morning," she says. "First thing, 7 a.m. He wants to hear this before they have a chance to get on a plane." 7 a.m. The clock has just accelerated, the final hours stripped away. The confrontation is no longer a distant dread. It's here. It's now. And I have to be ready. Monday morning. The courthouse is a cold, imposing building of marble and muted whispers. It feels like a place where lives are dismantled and reassembled, often in shapes you no longer recognize. I'm wearing my only suit, a charcoal gray one I bought for my father's funeral. It feels appropriate. I'm here to mourn the death of my marriage and fight for the life of my family. My mom is here, a silent, steely presence by my side. She flew in on a red-eye last night after I called her, and she's now with the kids at my house, a calm port in their turbulent storm. Emma Rodriguez is waiting for us outside the courtroom, looking sharp and focused in a navy blue pantsuit. She radiates a competence that is the only thing keeping my own anxiety at bay. "You ready?" she asks, handing me a file. I nod, though my stomach is a writhing knot of nerves. As I'll ever be. We walk in. The courtroom is smaller than I imagined, all dark wood and intimidating flags. It's already packed. It seems our 7 a.m. hearing is a source of some interest. Then I see her. Sarah is sitting at the opposing table, next to a slick-looking lawyer in a suit that's a little too shiny. And my breath catches in my chest. She's wearing the dress. A simple, cornflower blue sundress. The dress she wore on our first date. The one she was wearing in the photo I kept on my desk for 10 years. It's a calculated, theatrical gesture of manipulation. A last-ditch effort to remind me, and perhaps the judge, of the woman I fell in love with. Not the stranger she has become. It's a costume, and the cruelty of it makes me sick. She doesn't even glance at me. Her eyes are fixed on the judge's empty bench, a portrait of wronged innocence. "Don't let her get to you," Emma murmurs, seeing the direction of my gaze. "It's a performance. We have the facts." Judge Patterson enters, a formidable man with a sweep of white hair and eyes that look like they've seen every form of human desperation. He moves with a brisk, no-nonsense energy. The room falls silent. He gets right to it. "I've reviewed the emergency motions. I've seen the allegations. They are, to say the least, disturbing. Miss Rodriguez, you may begin." Emma stands, calm and collected. She walks the judge through the last 72 hours. The abandonment, the hidden bank accounts, the stakeout. She presents the photos of Sarah and Derek on the balcony, of my wedding ring on his finger. Sarah's lawyer objects. "Invasion of privacy, Your Honor." But the judge overrules him with a flick of his wrist. "Your client planned to abduct these children, Your Honor," Emma says, her voice ringing with conviction. "That's a lie!" Sarah cries out from her table, her carefully constructed composure cracking. Emma doesn't even look at her. She turns a page in her notes. "Then explain the Bangkok tickets, Miss Chen," she asks, her tone deceptively mild. "One-way tickets for yourself, your boyfriend, and your daughter, scheduled to depart tomorrow." Sarah falters. She looks to her lawyer, who gives a slight shake of his head. It was just a vacation idea," she stammers. "With one-way tickets?" Emma presses. "Derek said we could figure it out there," Sarah says, her voice small. She sounds like a child, lost, gullible. "I see," Emma says. "The same Derek Miller who has a felony fraud conviction in Arizona? The same Derek Miller who is currently in violation of his parole?" A gasp ripples through the courtroom. Sarah's lawyer is on his feet, objecting furiously, but the damage is done. The judge is staring at Sarah, his expression hardening into one of profound disapproval. "And what about your son, Miss Chen?" Emma continues, her voice like ice. "There were only 3 tickets. What were your plans for your 1-year-old son?" Sarah begins to cry. Not the crocodile tears she shed over the lost wedding ring, but harsh, ragged sobs of a person whose lies have finally caught up to her. I wouldn't have left him," she chokes out. "Derek, he said Marcus could have him." The admission hangs in the air, ugly and undeniable. She was willing to trade her son for a new life. It's at that moment that a court officer approaches Emma and hands her a note. Emma reads it, her eyebrows rising slightly. She walks to the opposing counsel and shows it to him. He reads it, and his shoulders slump in defeat. He whispers something to Sarah, and the last bit of color drains from her face. She looks utterly broken. She finally looks at me, and in her eyes, I see it all. The realization that Derek was not her savior. He was her destroyer. And he isn't even here to see the fallout. He has abandoned her, just as he convinced her to abandon her children. Emma turns back to the judge. Your Honor, it appears my investigator has just located a burner phone registered to a shell corporation owned by Mr. Miller. On that phone are text messages. Messages to a man in Bangkok arranging for the sale of a child's passport. And messages to another woman here in the city promising her a cut of the money he was planning to take from Miss Chen's accounts. The pieces click into place. He wasn't just running away with her. He was running a con on her, and the planned abduction of my daughter was part of some other, darker transaction. Sarah stares at Emma, her mouth agape, as she finally understands that she was never the partner in this scheme. She was the mark. Judge Patterson slams his gavel down. The sound is like a gunshot in the silent room. I've heard enough, he thunders, his eyes blazing with fury. This court is granting sole legal and physical custody of the minor children, Emma Chen and Leo Chen, to their father, Mr. Marcus Chen, effective immediately. Miss Chen will be granted supervised visitation, twice a week, at a court-approved facility, pending a full psychological evaluation. And I am issuing a bench warrant for the immediate arrest of one Derek Miller, also known as Daniel Peterson, for conspiracy to commit kidnapping, and I'll be notifying the authorities in Arizona of his parole violation. We are adjourned. It's over. I feel a wave of relief so powerful it almost brings me to my knees. I look over at Sarah. She's staring into the middle distance, a hollowed-out shell of the woman I once knew. Her lawyer is trying to talk to her, but she doesn't seem to hear him. She has lost everything. Her boyfriend, her money, her children, all in the space of a weekend. I should feel a sense of triumph, of victory. But all I feel is a deep, profound sadness for the family we once were, and for the wreckage she has made of her life. The courtroom empties out, leaving behind the sterile silence of resolved conflict. I'm standing in the hallway with Emma, the adrenaline slowly draining out of me, leaving a deep, resonant exhaustion in its place. It feels like I've lived a decade in the last 3 days. My phone buzzes. It's Emma Rodriguez. Her name on the caller ID no longer sends a jolt of anxiety through me. It feels like an anchor. Marcus, she says, her voice crisp but carrying an undercurrent of something else, something final. A little postscript for you. My PI kept an eye on Mr. Miller's condo just in case. A car service picked him up an hour ago. He went straight to the airport. He's running, I say. It's not a question. He did, she corrects me. Derek left for Bangkok alone this morning. His flight took off 20 minutes ago. And according to my guy, who had a chat with the doorman, he was carrying 2 suitcases. One of them was Sarah's. Emma pauses. He took her jewelry. The final, pathetic twist. He didn't just use her for her money and her child. He took her goddamn earrings. It's so grimy, so small, so perfectly in character. He has vanished, leaving her to face the consequences of the life he promised and the crimes he planned. There's a grim poetry to it, a kind of justice, I suppose. 6 months later. The afternoon light streams into our new apartment, illuminating the dust motes dancing in the air. It's a smaller place than the house, but it's ours. There are no ghosts here, no faint perfume of betrayal in the hallways. The walls are covered in the kids' crayon drawings, a chaotic, colorful tapestry of our new life. Leo, now a full-fledged toddler, toddles across the living room, his laughter echoing off the high ceilings. Emma is at the small kitchen table, her tongue sticking out in concentration as she works on her homework. Her new stuffed rabbit, This one, a patchwork creation named Stitches, sits beside her. I'm making dinner. The simple, familiar rhythm of chopping vegetables, a kind of therapy. This is my life now. It's a life of school pickups and bedtime stories, of scraped knees and monster checks. It's relentless and exhausting and beautiful. Sarah is rebuilding. After a month in a residential therapy program, mandated by the court, but embraced by her, I think, she's started to put the pieces of herself back together. Her supervised visits at the drab community center have become the anchor of her week. At first, they were stilted and awkward, full of a guilt so thick you could taste it. But slowly, something is shifting. She's present. She listens to the kids, really listens, in a way she hadn't in years. The visits are no longer a chore, but a lifeline. They are weekend visits that actually matter. She's learning to be a mother again, from the ground up. I don't know if I will ever fully forgive her, but I am learning to respect her fight. There's a knock on the door. It's Emma Rodriguez. Not my lawyer anymore, but just Emma. She drops by once a week, ostensibly to check on legal paperwork, but really she comes to see the kids. She brings them books and helps Emma with her math, explaining fractions with a patience I can only marvel at. I see the way she looks at my children, with a genuine warmth and affection, and I see the way she looks at me, with a quiet respect. Maybe one day it will be something more, maybe not. For now, it's just nice. It's a friendship that grew out of the ashes, and it feels real. Later, after the kids are asleep, I sit by the window, looking out at the city lights. I'm learning that real family isn't about perfect marriages or picket fences. It's not about the absence of pain. It's about showing up when it counts. It's about choosing love over convenience, choosing responsibility over resentment. It's about teaching your children that they are worthy of a love that is steady and safe, that they deserve better than being pawns in someone else's drama. The home I am building is not the one I dreamed of 10 years ago. It's messier, louder, and built on a foundation of scars. But it's strong. It's a place of safety, a place of healing, a place where the doors are locked against the monsters of the world, a place where no one gets left behind. Home isn't a place where people abandon you. It's the place you fight to come back to. It's the place you build with your own 2 hands, for the people you would do anything for. It's the place where we are, finally, okay,